Okay, so now welcome to the first episode of the Trusoul podcast. Now we need a big applause for this one. We need a big applause. I don't know why I just applauded myself, but I feel like this is a big achievement for myself. The reason being is because this podcast has been on my mind for a while, or just the idea of actually doing a podcast. I've always thought, well, it'd be so cool just to have like either mates or just some guest on, and to always interview them on different things that we want to do with our lives, just different things about life, different aspects that we might want to consider, and just loads of other opportunities that we might want to discuss and just get through, because I do love conversation when it's in the right setting. And I feel like with me personally, I'm quite an introverted person at heart, so I do like my peace. I like to be alone, but at the same time, I do love talking to people in the right setting. With big groups and stuff like that, I find it too hard because I'm focusing on too many people. So like there could be one person over there, and I'm like, "Oh, hello, you okay? How's this? How's this?" Try and get them included in the conversation. And if there's too many people, then it just becomes a bit weird. I prefer small groups personally. So this is why I've always wanted to do this sort of podcast, to get everyone's thoughts out there, to be open-minded, to sort of see what everyone wants with their life and what everyone thinks about life in general, just to sort of come to some sort of conclusion on how to better each and every single person's life. There's a little bug flying around the room, as you might be able to see. But yeah, this is the whole purpose of this podcast. The whole purpose of this is just to actually discuss with many people the ideas of life, how they've improved their own life in every aspect. So I'm talking mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, literally every single aspect that they've improved with their life, and how they can use that advice that they've learned from their own life to help other people, and just to sort of have laughs and just to discuss little ideas is just the main focus of this podcast. It's all about just how to advance your life and how to make other people's lives better. So the whole purpose of the name is I'm staying true to myself, which is Trusoul. So the soul is deep inside you. So this is my deep self. My deep self has always been to help other people, and this has been on my mind since I was a young kid. I've always wanted to help people. I've always had visions of helping the world, like literal visions. I don't know, that might sound weird, but I've always just been. I sort of discuss more with you now, because I mean this is the only podcast that I'm going to be just with myself, just sort of discussing all these thoughts, just because I'm going to be giving some advice to you all for the first one, and just to sort of say what the whole podcast is about. Because if you're watching this in the future, you might have seen other episodes with all guests and stuff, so you've never seen me just on my own, just laying all these thoughts out, and you're probably not too familiar with me, so I'm going to go into the depths of a lot about me, basically. So as a kid, I'd spin this thing around my finger. You might be thinking, what is it? It's literally a green stencil. It's literally just a green stencil. But I like to think of it as like a fidget spinner. So I basically get this thing, spin it around, and since a kid I've always been able to actually like envision a lot of things. And one of my envisions since I was very young was just to help the world in any way I could, just to improve aspects of it. So I'd just think of like poor areas and think of giving that poor area money, giving them resources, teaching them ways to actually help themselves. And I've always sort of thought like that, and I've always tried to sort of convey that to other people. So this podcast has been able to make me do this on a mass scale. Just so anyone that listens to this, they'll be able to actually benefit from anything that's being said from either myself or any of the guests that come on. So yeah, let's talk about some of the guests that are going to be coming on this podcast. We're going to be covering all aspects, like literally everything from finance to people who are YouTubers, who are influencers, and how you can become an influencer and a YouTuber, just to sort of being inspired by what they do. And just literally anyone who has sort of achieved something in life. So it literally could be anything, somebody who's got through any sort of problem, because I like people who are solution focused. who get on with their life and who actually achieve tons of goals. So yeah, like I mentioned, every aspect of life is going to be covered in this podcast, literally everything. So just sort of go through the guests that are going to be coming on for the next couple of weeks. We have Rob Middlehurst. He's one of my close friends. He's a DJ, so he does music like techno music and things like that. So we're going to be discussing things that we've been through, just throughout exploring the rave scene, to sort of go through like the good aspects of that, and just to sort of go through our passion for music, our passion for mixing, our passion for creativity. We're going to be covering that. And I'm going to be covering with a lot more of my friends. I'm going to be giving them the opportunity to come promote their own music, to come promote anything that they want, in exchange for them just literally just saying about how they've improved or overcome something in their life, and basically just having some general chit chat at the same time. So the whole aspect of it is I'm going to be giving some people some questions, just going to be like going, hey, do you want to know about this? Do you want to know about that? And I'd like you to tell the audience what is your thoughts, and we'll basically go back and forth on literally on everything we think about life, just to give you guys some sort of outcome and some sort of solution. Because at the moment, because this is, if you're watching this in the future, this is being filmed during the coronavirus lockdown. We're not in lockdown at the moment. We've just got out of lockdown. The coronavirus situation is still going on. It's the 22nd of August 2020 right now, so I can imagine this going on for quite a while in the future, because you know me, I'm a visionary. So yeah, I can imagine this going on for quite a while in the future. So if you're coming back to watch this, this is in the 22nd of August, and basically a lot of people are struggling, and a lot of people are doing very well. So it's just to sort of help the people that are struggling, and just to sort of show what other people are doing well. For me, myself personally, not to rub it in and go like, oh, I'm doing very good, because obviously we all go through certain things, but me, myself personally, I've had a bit of an epiphany this year, just to sort of realise that while it might seem bad for everyone else, it doesn't mean that can impact your life. So, because basically, what I do for a living is I do online marketing for people. So I work with my dad, Andrew Edwards, and our mission is to make online marketing easy for any sort of business. So we make websites for people, primarily Shopify websites and e-commerce websites. We show people how to actually advertise it on social media, on Facebook, and actually show them how to make their Facebook ads better. So we're working with tons of clients at the moment. And because of the fact that everyone's been locked inside the house, we have had so much business, and we've been able to help so many people get so much money and been able to improve their lives, while other people are literally sitting in recession complaining about life. And it's refreshing to know that we are helping people and that we can help so many more people. So that's our mission, to help all these people. And the fact that we know that more people are struggling, more people are losing their jobs because of recessions and other things like that, we know that we can help so many people by literally just showing them how to make their business online. So this year has been a massive wake-up call for me. I've completely came out of my comfort zone. One of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast right now is usually about a year ago I wouldn't be able to do this at all. I'm just literally I'd be able to talk to people. I can talk to people fine. I do suffer with anxiety now and again, but I can get over it. I've got my own ways of dealing it, which I can go through in this podcast as well and help anyone with. So yeah, I don't want to use that as a label going, oh, I've got this, so it cripples me. It literally doesn't do anything. Honestly, I think a lot of people go through anxiety, they just don't realise it. That's my own personal opinion, and I think other people have it in just different ways. And if the more thought process you put into that, the more energy you put into that, the more it expands. So yeah, basically, the whole purpose of this is just to sort of go, listen, I have came out of my comfort zone to help you. Now all you've got to do is help yourself and then help other people, because this is what it's about. There's millions, potentially billions, I can imagine it's probably billions, going through a lot of things in life. The vast majority of people are struggling. So it is our mission as humans just to help the other humans like succeed in life and achieve lots of things. That's my personal opinion. I mean, to the people that think, oh no, you shouldn't help people, you should help yourself. Obviously, yes, help yourself. So this is one thing I've been doing this year is helping myself. But you gotta help yourself to help other people. You're not just gonna help yourself just to get yourself to a massive standpoint, because then who are you gonna be with? You're gonna be all on your own. So make sure you help other people, because literally just put yourself in other people's shoes. You gotta put yourself in other people's shoes and just sort of help them with their own life. Because imagine if you was in that exact situation where people are losing their jobs, can't afford any money, like in America where they not getting stimulus checks which you were promised and things like that, so they've not been able to work. It's been completely out of their own hands. Businesses have been going down. They're trying to set up businesses themselves, but they can't really, because, well, they can, but they're struggling to get it going because of the fact that people are losing money as well. So yeah, that's just the whole purpose of this, is just to amplify literally anything in any way. And you can always come back to this podcast, because we're going to have multiple guests on at all times that will be able to help you with any aspect of life. So make sure you tune in. There'll be a whole playlist on this YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can go through the Spotify links. You can click on the Spotify sort of track and then go through every single Spotify podcast. You can see it in there. Same with iTunes, and same with any other platform that you're going to be listening on. So with that intro out of the way, we're going to be going into the actual podcast itself right now, and basically I'm going to be talking about what spirituality means. Now, you might have heard me say before, spirituality to sort of help people spiritually, and I did sort of mention beforehand, like going mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. And a lot of people, myself included, like a couple of years ago, I would have been like, what are you on about spiritual stuff? Come on, look, stop. Why are you being dead woo-woo? I mean, I'm only 20 right now, so I was only a couple of years, you know what I mean? I was only young, but I would have been like, hold on, you know what I mean? Like, why are you, what's all this stuff you're chatting? You know what I mean? We all, and what I'd like to sort of say with this is the true meaning of spirituality, and just to sort of say like what its actual purpose is, the purpose of it in this podcast and what it's about, and just to sort of open your mind to other different possibilities you might not have considered before. So the whole purpose of this is just to open people's mind. And spirituality, as long I know a lot of people think, oh, it's some, you know what I mean, it's some bullshit, or it's some sort of, you know, it's people just sort of associate it with a lot of bullshit things. Basically, the people just sort of go, well, no, because there's no way to prove that. There's no scientific way to prove that. And my mission a couple of years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago now, I sort of went through some sort of spiritual awakening. And my mission was to sort of prove that there was other sides of life there, especially from like Eastern traditions, from like India and China and a lot of other areas that like involve in different religions, like the sort of just looking into the mysticism of everything, and to sort of prove it with science, so to sort of prove it with Western things, just to sort of, and that's been my whole mission, and this is going to be sort of covered throughout the podcast. Now, spirituality is literally just to better your life. That's the whole meaning of being spiritual or being woke or whatever, is just to sort of better other people's lives and better your own life in the same process. That's how simple it is. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you have to meditate, you have to do yoga under the sun for 17 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that. To me, it's not that anyway. To me, it's about how you can better your life in every single aspect. And I'm going to be covering every way that's helped me and that's helping me throughout my journey, because my journey is literally just starting, along with yours as well. Yours is literally just starting. So my goal is to help everyone with this whole journey of life, to sort of get people to understand it more, because I mean, it's confusing. It's easy to overthink what life actually is, and I sort of went on a seeker's journey, and I'm still on a seeker's journey to sort of understand from different religions, from different scientists, from many different people who have become very successful in life, and to sort of understand their stories and to sort of understand more about life. Because what we're taught in school, I believe, is let me just take a drink of water. What we're taught in school is like a surface level, and like sort of not everything you need to know about life. You get taught algebra, all these other pointless things that you actually don't need unless you go into some sort of certain job like engineering. You know what I mean? You get taught all these pointless aspects of life, and then you sort of get graded on if you sort of get evaluated if you're good at maths, and that's how you get a job. And it's just some outdated system that is really on its way out right now. And it's just, after I got decent grades in school and everything, but I just thought it was absolutely, I've put my mind to it. That's the only reason I got decent grades. I just think like everything in school is bogus, man. Actually, honestly, I do think. And when they do like religious studies and everything like that, they just make it boring. And I believe that they just sort of classify it under certain ways and traditional ways. To sort of say you've got to follow one, you got to follow this, you got to follow Christianity, even though they made us understand a lot of them and understand different religions. I believe they just sort of went, all right, well, you need these people follows one, this people follows the other. My personal belief with religions, just sort of going off topic a sec, is that religions are, and I don't mean to offend anyone in any way by saying this, but I believe religions are a person's own beliefs. So a person's own beliefs on what another higher power is. And when I say higher power, I mean like the universe. I mean something that there's got to be obviously something. And I mean you might not believe in this, because I used to be an atheist as well. I didn't really believe in this, but I always thought there must be something that created it. Even if you look at the Big Bang Theory, there must have been something that brought these particles together to sort of create a massive explosion. There must have been something, there must have been some force. My idea behind that is that we all have, not realizations, but we all have visualizations, we all have an imagination of what that force might be, and that we call that God. Yeah. So I just sort of got a bit off topic there. That sort of came through, but yeah, that's one thing I'd like to talk about in this. Talk about everything. Talk about everything that I've sort of learned from the past couple of years, other than business. Because if you didn't know, I also have the Mad About Media side, and that you can go check the YouTube channel for that. Check the link for that in the description. And basically on that I teach people online marketing and teach them how to better their life and get money techniques and everything. I'll be going through money techniques in this obviously, but not as much. This is more for just how to get the mindset for life, because I believe it doesn't matter how much money you make. You see so many millionaires, so many billionaires that are actually sad. You know what I mean? Like and you see so many people that are poor and in poverty having the best time of their lives. So it's sort of to say like the mindset doesn't have to accumulate with money, but money is a very important aspect of life at the same time, because obviously money can get you freedom, but it just can't get you permanent happiness, and that's all to do with your mindset. So this is what the whole purpose of this podcast is about, trying to sort of achieve happiness with other people. I'd just like to talk about my experiences with going down this sort of spiritual route, you could say. I know a lot of people are going, what are you on about spiritual? You know what I mean? You're going, whoa, who do you think you are, you little, people are thinking, you're a little Buddha, are you? So, people are going to think whatever they want to think. This is one of the reasons why I did this podcast, is because, I put it off for so long because I thought, what about this person? What's he going to think? What's this other person going to think? And in reality, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that person thinks. For one, it's not going to affect my life in any way, shape or form. It literally isn't going to affect my life at all. And two, they're not really going to be thinking about it that much. They might see it for a second and either enjoy it or not really like it, and it's fair enough. If they really enjoy it, then we get another fan. If they don't like it, then it's not really meant to be, and we don't really want to get these people watching this anyway. You know what I mean? You don't really want to be getting people that don't really acknowledge it, don't like it, to be forced to watch something that they don't enjoy. That's just weird. That's just, like, they're just not gonna. It's just like it's like 1984 or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to control people like the government and stuff. Yeah. So just sort of going through my spiritual sort of awakening thing, and sort of go through my experiences with manifestation. I know you might be thinking, ooh, what is manifestation? Well, manifestation is thinking about something before you're doing it, and it's not really just thinking. It's not just going, I'm gonna pick up this pen, or I'm gonna pick up this water bottle. It's not just that. It's sort of envisioning how you're gonna do something beforehand. And like I said, I'm quite a visionary, and I can imagine myself doing something beforehand. And I realised that with my good imagination skill and actually doing stuff, it actually really excelled me in everything I'm doing. I just try really hard at things, be like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Very, very masculine way of doing it. It's sort of like a caveman picking at a rock or something, like punching a rock to try and get through. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's not really gonna work, but the effort's there. You know what I mean? It's like I had all this effort. It's not, obviously I could have done a lot more, but it's just the initial part of working on stuff, like working for my dad, working on different websites and stuff. The initial part of doing everything was like, go full steam ahead, do this, do 3 social posts or whatever a day, and do whatever. You know what I mean? I'd just go all for it. And in reality, I might have been doing all these things, but they weren't getting me results, and I was burning myself out. So for the whole year, I sort of really burned myself out with whatever I was doing. And this led me to look more into spirituality and look more into ways of manifesting. So I stumbled across a guy called Eric Ho. If you've not heard of this guy, his name is now Master Sri Akashna. He's went through a massive spiritual awakening. He's a millionaire from various different other businesses, and the exact same thing that I wanted to know. My dad put me onto this guy, and basically he just sort of shares his way of law of attraction. And if you've never heard of law of attraction before, you might have heard of The Secret. It's a lot of celebrities and a lot of people that are successful in life, and they sort of go through the whole way of what they do to achieve many goals and how they stand out from the other person. So basically, with manifestation, the effort has to be there. The effort has to be there, and you have to actually vision yourself doing this thing and getting the emotion and the vibration. Now, I mean vibration is in, like, we're all frequency, if you didn't know. So we're all a sound frequency. We all vibrate at 5 hertz. So, like, when our cells are just going around our body and reproducing, and cells are dying off and everything, that's the rate that they're vibrating at. So when a speaker vibrates and everything, basically our bodies vibrate at a certain thing. The universe vibrates at a certain level. But like when NASA record planets sound, that's what they do. They measure the vibration of a planet and then just convert it into sound. So everything is vibration, and there's a certain level of vibration for everything. If you get in a vibration of already actually doing something, so say like you close your eyes and you imagine, for example, I just released a house and techno music EP, which is going to be out on Spotify. A little promotion. It's going to be out on Spotify, iTunes, Beatport. It's out on SoundCloud right now, but it's going to be out on Beatport, Spotify, everything else next. What day is it? Next 29th of August. So that's going to be out. You can, if you buy it on Beatport, you're going to get an extra free song, some sound packs, and a drum pack as well. So if you're a DJ producer, that might be able to help you. So buy that, and I'll send you a link straight away with some little bonus things in, and I'll be always sending you bonuses. So if you want a little bonus, then buy this on Beatport. But yeah, getting away from that is how I actually manifested this whole thing. Is how I manifested doing this. I mean, to be honest, it's just mad to me because getting the whole thing done. I've been producing and everything for years, but the way I learned how to do it, when I first started, I had all these ideas, but applying them, I was so rubbish. Like, I was bad. Like, I'd just put something down and it just sound rubbish, and I'd be like, "How do I get this?" And it took a lot of learning. But one of the ways I actually managed to learn quicker and implement this different sound is by watching YouTube tutorials for one. So putting the effort into learning and putting the effort into actually applying my knowledge, but actually meditating. So I closed my eyes and I'd imagine playing a good song at, let's say, Glastonbury or some sort of festival, playing like a DJ set, and I'd do that and I'd get myself into a good mood before making a tune, and then I'd get into the flow. So if you've never heard of flow state, I'd all these songs that I've actually made on the EP, I've been in flow state. So yeah, the other ones are not really as good. I've made a lot of songs actually to try and for this EP, probably about 20, and I've picked 6. I've picked 6 from the 20, because of the fact that a lot of them were not as good. And maybe might be decent, and I might release them throughout the time. But I'd basically just get in like this flow state of doing it, and I'd imagine myself being happy and playing it at this festival beforehand, and then I'd go in and produce something, and it'd come out like a masterpiece. It literally would. To me, it's a masterpiece anyway. To me, obviously, there's always going to be improvements, but for me, like for my personal expectations, considering I've only been doing this really a year and a bit, it's just completely blew my mind on how far I've been able to come and how far I've been able to progress from just these simple techniques. And this doesn't go on for music. This isn't just like music. This has happened for money as well. This has happened for relationships. I've manifested a lot of money into the business. I'm not going to go into too much. I'm going to be releasing an ebook soon, and it's probably out if you're watching this in the future. It's called 7 Steps, I believe. Yeah, 7 Steps to use the law of attraction for your business. And I sort of go through my own personal experience and how I brought, it's not really me personally, but how I attracted that money into my life. So I attracted a really big investment into the business's life, which actually just changed all our lives. So it was really magical. I didn't really want to believe it for a long time actually, because I just thought it was a coincidence. But once you use this technique with a lot of other things, like one thing that I'm actually going to mention right now is I manifested. Right, we've got time, so we're going to go into this. I manifested a message. So this is the first way. I manifested a text message from a girl that I liked when I was single, like a year and a half ago or something like that. I manifested a text message, and I got along with it, but like it weren't like anything. Didn't go down any sort of relationship route or anything. But I did that, and I was like, whoa, how have I done that? You know what I mean? It was when I say like manifest, like literally like. It weren't even like we won't go into too much detail, but basically I did this technique, and I think I manifested a date. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much, but yeah. But basically, I thought about it before and went ahead. I took the action and I got the results from it. But I realised I just didn't really like it. But so I just sort of, and I sort of just went on. I didn't really want to go for any girlfriend or anything. You know what I mean? But one thing I did sort of try to manifest is having a good relationship with someone. One vision that come up, and it's a very odd vision, but one vision that come up, and I know a lot of you might be going, this doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm not conveying it in the right way, but maybe if you've had some sort of experience like this, you'd be able to relate to this. I had manifested, was literally envisioned being on a plane next to some girl, and I expected it to be another girl. I expected it to be someone else, right? I expected it to be just just someone. I don't know. I just expected it to be someone else. I had certain expectations, and in this visualization, I couldn't see the girl's face. Right, I could see her colour, but I couldn't see her face. And we were on a plane to going somewhere, and I've not been on a plane with her yet, but we're going soon. It's just the lockdown sort of, lockdown sort of got in the way. But her head was on my shoulder, and I was trying to see her face. I was going, let me see her face, and it was almost like the visualization weren't letting me. And I've never been able to do that before. You know what I mean? I've never been able to not envision this person's, because I believe I was trying to use this expectation to have someone there. I was expecting a certain someone, and then I realised that they weren't showing me the face, and that someone better was going to come. That's what I realised from this deep meditation, basically. And I was like, oh, okay, and I let go of all expectations. So completely let go of all expectations. And I just sort of went about my daily life. I focused on myself, which is a big thing you should do if you're doing law of attraction or anything like manifestation or anything. Focused on myself, went to the gym, started doing exercise, a lot more exercise. I was doing a lot more work as well, taking a lot more projects and getting a lot more things done. I just didn't have the thought of having a girl or this certain girl in my mind for ages. Then I went to party. So this is the weirdest thing. I went to party just out of the blue, and me and the girl both said we were just, even though we wanted to go to the party, we were sort of just unsure. You know what I mean? We were like, I don't know if we should go. And I just was like, oh, screw it, let's just go, because I want to be there for this girl's 18th party, which we went like an 18th party. And I met this girl with the same colour hair as the person that was in this manifestation. We hit it off. We had a good conversation. Her name's May, and we're still together now. And we get along great. I've never got along with a girl so well in my life. You know what I mean? So it's that happened from manifestation, and I believe if I didn't have that meditation, that probably wouldn't have happened. And I know a lot of you might be thinking like, no, it's just coincidence or whatever. That's what I believe. I believe I somehow got in the vibration of having a girlfriend because I didn't need it or anything like that. And then same for her, and we just sort of met, and it was out of the blue, and it was just confusing. It was just confusing. But yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things that I just thought I'd sort of go through in this podcast, is to sort of go through sort of manifestation. That's one big thing that we're going to be going through, to sort of get to the bottom of it, and the law of attraction and all that. I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to sort of show people how to do the best techniques to do so, to manifest everything they want in their life, because it really it's helped me. It changed me as a person. It gave me confidence. It gave me so many other things. It gave me the ability to not fear about anything to do with public speaking or anything, to sort of go against my fears, to have that courage. It gave me money. It gave me so many other things, and it didn't just give me, like, I didn't just sit there and go like money just came to me. It didn't work like that. But like, I sort of put the effort in. Before I put the effort in, I took them steps to sort of take care of myself, because at first I did it for anxiety. I did meditation and stuff for anxiety, to just calm my anxiety down, and it leveled up from there to just sort of manifest things. And I become a bit of a not a spell god, but I started doing it loads, and a lot of things started coming true. So I do it now, but I only do it for things that actually really matter, because I started doing it for random shit. Honestly, I started doing it for really weird things. I started doing it for, like, I'm not even going to say, but they come true. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, that was a realisation that you need to be careful about what you actually manifest into your life. I don't know if you are familiar with Trusoul and XXXTentacion. One of the last messages that XXXTentacion message to Trusoul was, be careful what you manifest. And he died. X died, rest in peace. He's a great musician. And then Juice died as well, rest in peace. But yeah, it's really true. The more you sort of believe in something, so maybe Juice believed that he was going to die from drugs and stuff like that. Maybe he manifested his own death. You just don't know. It's one of them. You just really don't know, and you don't like to think of that. Rest in peace to Juice WRLD. Long live both. Long live both of them. They're amazing artists, and they were gone before their time. But this is one thing, you need to be careful about what you actually manifest. Listen to listen to him. Even though he's not here with us anymore, he's still here with us in spirit. So just listen. So yeah, one of the main reasons, I've got this down in my notes here, so I thought I'll close off the podcast with this. Is to get you all to work on your passion. So this is the first sort of thing that I'm going to be going through. Is I want you all to work on what you love. So if you don't know what you love already, find what you love. Now you might be thinking, oh, I don't know what I love in life. Or you might be thinking, oh, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know. If you don't know that, your task now is to find out what you are passionate about. Not what anyone else is passionate about, not what your mates are passionate about. What really excites you to your core. And if you don't know by now, then work on something that you actually enjoy. So like work on something that you enjoy but you're not really that passionate about, and just keep on focus on some sort of goal that will eventually lead you to your passion. So with passions, so the people that have found a passion, so it's something that they actually love doing all the time, and don't really know how to make an income out of it, or just sort of work a job and do it on the side, like music or comedy, like, you know, all these artistic creative things. It can also just be like helping people out, sort of making businesses. It can be anything you're passionate about. But yeah, this is one of the things I'd like to talk about on this podcast. And this podcast specifically, this first one, is to get rid of any fear of doing your passion. Now, a lot of people just stop the passion. They work on something and then they completely stop what they're doing. Not for their own benefit, they stop it or don't even start it because of the fear of what other people might think. Now, I used to have this as well, and this is why I'm saying this. Don't feel bad if you've got this fear, because a lot of people do. You'll notice that a lot of people in life talk about what they want to do and never end up doing it. And this is primarily the reason why, is they have the fear of failure and people mocking them. And for some reason, as a society, we just think like, oh, if not really, but for some reason, as a society, we think, oh, failure is bad. No, failure is good. And I'm not saying go chase failure or manifest failure. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like people fail. Michael Jordan, all the people, Drake, all the massive people in any aspect of life, literally any aspect, have failed. Business owners like Jeff Bezos, tell me one that hasn't failed. Everyone's failed. So firstly, the fear of failure, you need to throw that away. So if you feel like you're not going to do what you love because you're going to fail or not be as good, then just throw that away. I mean, even if you feel that fear, do it anyway. Like, just do it. It doesn't mean that fear is yours. I mean, I have the fear of I used to have the fear of walking to strangers or talking to strangers. It doesn't mean that fear is mine. Now I can talk to strangers all right, but still sometimes I'm like, who's this person? I'm on edge a bit. Not edge a bit, but I evaluate people that I talk to. I'm like, who should I talk to him? I get a good vibe for people, basically. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And I used to really get anxious about stuff like that. But I did it anyway. And the more you sort of courageous towards something, the better you get at it, and the better you sort of learn to overcome all these things. You're not going to know how to overcome these things from sitting in your room just doing nothing. Like, just sitting watching Netflix. You're not going to be able to overcome it that way. Like, you just won't be able to. And the second sort of point is, the fear aspect. I don't know. I don't get why. This is one thing I don't get. People have that fear of what other people think. You're going to have people commenting, giving you all sorts of hate and giving you all sorts of people commenting. I think it's school more than anything, especially when you're in school. Whatever you put out, people in school are going to see, and they're going to have opinions on it. that people, you can't change people's opinions, and people are gonna have opinions no matter what. This is one thing I try to get people to realize. I stopped doing YouTube and a lot of other things that I was passionate about in school because I'd upload a video. Which, to be honest, the videos weren't that good, but at least I was doing what I loved. You know what I mean? At least I was doing something. I mean, half the kids that we're talking about going, "Oh, Ronan's done this," you know what I mean, laughing. I mean, half the kids they weren't doing anything, and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way because now looking back at it, I'm like, oh, they were only laughing at it, and to be honest, it's not even a bad thing. If you're laughing at it, good. That's what I was trying to get out of it. You know what I mean? I was trying to make people laugh. So I'm glad. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm glad I've been able to make people laugh from it. And the second point is that if you're doing something you don't actually love, then you're not going to enjoy your life as much. Like, this is a known fact. Like, people who work in a job that they don't enjoy usually don't enjoy their life. Same goes for people who are stuck in a relationship that they don't enjoy, and they're not really going to enjoy their own life. So yeah, I believe your life feels so much better when you're doing what you actually want to do. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, because I feel well better at the fact that I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I just feel good that I'm actually finally doing it for once, and not just thinking about doing it. I'm actually just facing any sort of fears and doing what I love, because I feel like this can really, really help other people. With the guests I'm going to be getting on, it's going to really help other people. And when you actually focus on your passion, you find that a lot more opportunities come to you. So when I focus on all my different passions, I have tons as well. Yeah, I'm a madman for passions and stuff like that. But just focusing on what I love, I love focusing on different things. And the more I actually do, the more I focus on other things, I see more opportunities around those certain things pop up. So like, the more I focus on the marketing side, when me and my dad focus on the business and stuff like that, we find a lot more amazing opportunities come to us. And now more than ever, we're getting so many great opportunities from different businesses, from different clients. It's unbelievable. And yeah, when you focus on what you actually love, so we cut out sides of the business that we don't actually enjoy, and we replaced it with the sides that we do enjoy. And the more we focus on that, and I believe the more opportunities that come through. Yeah, and then the last sort of point, just about this whole little topic, is that unless you have a secure job that pays you well and that is never going away, you can't rely on other businesses to always employ you. So this is why I believe it's important to work on what you're passionate about, and try and find some sort of way to make income from that. It could be anything from Shopify, it could be anything from making a store behind anything, ad placements, getting companies to put all the shout outs on your page. It could be anything, literally could be anything. But I believe you should work on your passion right now, not with the intention of making money at first. I just believe you should do it because you love it. And then once you get a bit further on, once you grow some sort of audience, then I believe you should sort of do your best to make money from it. The reason why is because a lot of people are losing their jobs right now, and more people are going to lose their jobs. More businesses are going to shut down, and you can never rely. This has been completely out of anybody's hands, this whole situation. Nobody has been able to see this coming. Nobody can control it. This is the universe doing something. Now, you can either sit there and go, oh, this is all happened to me, and play the victim, which a lot of people are doing. And I'm not trying to call you out if you are. I'm not trying to say, like, oh, you should feel bad for doing this. I'm saying, like, do you want to sit there and be like, oh, this is all happening to me? Or do you want to just get up and do something about it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd rather do something about it and not be sitting there shaming yourself, living in fear. You'd rather be benefiting your life. There's so many people who've done bits over lockdown, like they've done really well for themselves, including myself and my dad. We've done well. Like, so if we can do it, just some lads from Witness, then you can do it as well. Just focus on what you love. Literally, just try every day and start it. Just start making something you like to do, and you'll make a snowball out of it. You'll make something that's actually worth doing. You keep rolling that snowball. That's a good analogy I always try to make. Keep rolling the snowball of what you want to do, and you'll find soon that it might be able to replace your job. And if you lose the job, it might give you some extra income. Or if you keep your job as well, then you'll be able to make some extra income. So, yeah, that was completely it for this podcast. We've went on for quite a while. It's 44 minutes. Divine timing. Yeah, that's went on for a while. I just feel like all this information has just passed through me today to go onto this podcast. Me and Rob are going to do this podcast for the first one, but I believe Rob's busy. He's in work tomorrow. So we'll get this podcast sorted with me and Rob. We're going to go back and forth on the rave scene, everything like that. Everything, literally going to go back and forth on it. I'm going to be having a lot more other guests on, people who've quite a really inspiring, people who are also building their own businesses up at the same time. I'm going to be getting so many guests on. It's going to be every week on the same Saturday that you're going to see this on. There will be some bonus episodes every now and again, so I'll let you know on my social media. So make sure you follow me at Ronan Duardi, just to see when other little podcasts are going live and everything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Stream The Beauty in Hell EP right now. And yeah, thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for listening, and I'll see you later. A lot of love. Peace.